Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Total War Attila. This is the Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD mod, and fourth time lucky, hopefully. So we have now played as Denmark, which it was alright, but they were missing some stuff. Then we played as the Latin Empire, which was legitimately an interesting campaign, but did not have their full roster of units. So after the early era, they would have fallen off and fallen off hard, and they were already struggling to maintain technological parity to some of their neighbours. I mean, they couldn't. Then we played as Serbia, which I feel like was sold to me under false pretenses, because their description text is all about their shifting of faith from Orthodoxy to Catholicism, which is something you really can't actually do in the game. So kind of got pissed off with that one, and that's when we ended the stream early. Now we're going to play as Flanders. Now ordinarily I would go, okay, here's 4 or 5 nations, I'll let you pick from them. I've done some research. I've been looking through various nations which have caught my eye, and I have settled on Flanders. They have a unit roster which I think suits me. They have a diverse roster of different units, as you can see down here, the faction strength. They don't have a complete focus on cavalry, unlike Serbia and the Latin Empire, but actually have a bit more of a group of different things. They are complete. They are feature complete, with the exception of the description. I really wish they used the description to just say, this nation is still waiting for stuff, but anyway, that's my usual complaint about that. They are not actually a merchant republic, so even though they are the trading cities of Flanders, they are a county, they are a feudal entity, which means we're not waiting for any of the merchant republic features, as far as I'm aware. And most interestingly, I think, is that we start the game allied to England. So I was looking around, I was looking at England, I was looking at Flanders, Brabant, Switzerland, a couple of others. And when I loaded up England, I was like, hang on, Flanders is blue to us. Oh, interesting, we are allied. And because of all the tensions between England and France, I think we're going to be right at the centre of that. So I'm not necessarily expecting us to get into much trouble of our own volition. I think we're going to get dragged into a lot of trouble because of England. And that sounds kind of interesting. The other thing is, Flanders during this era was really when the Flemish area and Proto-Belgium really started to take off. Belgium was probably one of the earliest industrial nations. I'm not talking industrialization with factories and all of that stuff. I'm talking about the rise of the cities. I'm talking about artisan production. And the reason for that, and the reason for the alliance with England, is because England was exporting wool to Flanders, then Flanders was turning that wool into cloth, and that is an industrial process. And part of the reason that Flanders and Belgium became super industrialized later on, when factories became a thing, was because they basically industrialized that process. So we have the beginnings of that, and you can see that here, the cloth halls of Flanders, plus 20% wealth from industrial buildings and plus 25% production of manufactured goods. I think that's going to be quite interesting to play with. We have a pretty high population considering we're a one province nation. So I'm really excited about seeing what Flanders can do here. Flanders also has an interesting unit roster, which we'll get more into in a moment. Jackson coming in with a 26-month Prime resubscription. Thank you very much for the ongoing support there, Jackson. Much appreciate that. And then Samuel also coming in with a 10-month resubscription. Thank you very much, Samuel. Hello, Mordred and clan. Hope you're all doing well this time. Fourth time lucky, maybe. Either way, looking very much forward to another brilliant stream. Let's make some money, have some fun, and drink loads of glorious tea. Keep up your amazing work. So one of the t-shirts, which unfortunately I can't show off because it arrived in the wrong size, came as a small. Like, they ordered it as an extra large and it came in as a small. But I've got a, the Tyrion quote, I read books, I drink wine, and I know things. Well, in this one is, I read books, I drink tea, and I know things. I was like, yeah, that's good. I like that. So I'll definitely need to show that t-shirt off when the proper size one arrives. Extra large as opposed to small. Yeah, just reminded me because of the drinking tea. Poet! Hello everyone, hello Mordred, hope you had a good Christmas. I certainly did. I did! Yeah, Christmas was really good. Boxing Day was alright, except for my quitting the stream early. Sorry about that. I just was not feeling it that day at all. But I'm back, I'm raring to go, and I'm actually really looking forward to this. Like, I'm glad I've spent a bit of time just looking through the different factions, because it has made me write a few off. The only thing that is counting against us is we seem to have a high reliance on mercenaries. Choice mercenaries plus 100% mercenary pool replenishment, and 25% cheaper cost recruitment cost for mercenaries. Mercenaries aren't in the game, so that's the one thing that Flanders is maybe going to struggle with. But we have such a diverse roster of units anyway, and I suspect that some of the mercenary units are actually in the game already, but they're just regularly part of our roster, as opposed to mercenaries that you recruit from the pool of mercenaries. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. So we're going to play this on hard. We are considered a hard faction, which I'm not surprised by. You know, being on the borders with France during the 100 Years' War. And allied to England and on the continent at the time. Yeah, this should be interesting. This should be really interesting, so we're going to go ahead and start. The other thing is Flanders seems to grow stronger as the game goes on. So early on we may struggle a little bit, but it did say that we have good late game units. So early game we were going to struggle. We don't have very many heavy units, but late game we should. So I'm excited. Chug a mug of tea and another mug of tea. I will chug a mug of tea. Alright, mod credits. Going to scroll through those slowly again so everyone could acknowledge these glorious people for the work they've done. Deja Wolf. That's a name I recognise. Why do I recognise Deja Wolf? I think he may have had something to do with Pendor. Interesting. As a Catholic faction, you must play a precarious game of managing the opinion of the clergy. War weariness is a thing. Okay, so we start here with the city of Tournai, and these are the units we start with. So we have got early spear militia, which are unarmoured, but they do have a big shield. Oh no, they're considered poor missile block. Interesting. Then we have the hooked pikemen, which are basically billmen by another name. England has units very similar, and you'll notice that the English cities are blue to us already. We have the crossbow militia, and we have quite a few of them. Again, lightly armoured, decent range, 145, and then different bolt selection types as well. Oh no, it's just heavy, never mind. Oh, and they have excellent stamina. That's interesting. And then we've got the knechts, which are basically Flemish knights, which are pretty strong. And they also have the good stamina, that's good. Mounted sergeants, which are going to be like the knights but not as heavily armoured. And then the Count of Flanders and his bodyguard. So what's the Count do? Unit experience for missile units. Okay. So when I first loaded this up, this was a replenishment guy, which I think probably would have been more useful. We have Jean, who is unfaithful. Wow, that's a really bad start for us. 20% reduced chance of having children, -1 authority and +1 personal influence. The other problem with Jean is she's 12. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can divorce her. I need more influence. Currently, we've got an influence of 11. We are a 25-year-old, so we've still got time. And then we've got Marguerite, who is our sister. Okay. And then we've got Etienne, who's a patron, which is good because that's wealth from... it's wealth, it's not tax rate. I was hoping for a tax rate. Strategist. So I think, yeah, wealth from culture. Or we can just recruit another ruler for Flanders. Or we can put the king in charge and just not bother with the missile unit person. Let's see who else we can recruit. Oh, no, we have no other nobles. So it is literally just him. So if we were to replace you, it would have to be the strategist, which is upkeep cost reduction and also melee defense for the commander's unit, which isn't bad. Why do you have to be so bad? I really need to get rid of her as soon as possible. Okay, so we start diplomatically allied to a couple of people. Let's sort this by attitude. So right now, England really likes us. Oh, we have no port! So even though we are the trading cities of Flanders, we don't actually start with a port, so we can't actually trade with our closest ally, which is kind of a hilarious oversight, seeing as the entirety of Flanders' economy at this point was the cloth trade with England. But okay, we have an alliance with England, we should be able to set up trade with them. We have trade with Brabant, Trier and France, so we're actually going to be treading a fine diplomatic line here. In other words, until England and France go to war, there ain't going to be much happening, I suspect. We are making a good amount of money. We already have a large city, which apparently has no details. Is that really true? Oh dear. I'm hoping that there are actually stats associated with that. It's just not telling us what they are. Yeah, it must be. We have the high Burger growth rate. We have the peasantry growth rate. I think we're okay. Although population growth plus 0.25 for peasants. And here it's only 0.7. Unless one of these reduces peasant growth rate. That's Burger growth. That's peasant growth. Wow, our peasant growth rate should be way higher. What the heck? How is it only 0.7? And I think our maximum population size is about 100,000. Yeah. Oh, and we can probably see from here peasant growth plus 1. Peasant growth here would be 0.75. Peasant growth from here would be 0.25. So it's going to be 0.5 peasant growth. Meanwhile, our Burger growth is 3%. Burgers and nobility are growing very quickly. Okay, and why is that going to matter? Well, it's because the units we can actually recruit, you'll notice that we have a large roster of starting stuff. And the reason for that is we have access to Golden Dark, which I did some research, I stand corrected, is in fact Flemish, not Frisian. I thought it was Frisian, but it's not. It is from Flanders, so Golden Dark absolutely makes sense, or the Goedendag, as it should be. Spear Militia, Textile Cutters Guild, and you'll notice, Textile Cutters Guild, they must be the clothiers. And then we've also got the Bakers Guild. Now this is why I suspect that these guys are mercenaries, and they're mixed into our roster, because there's actually a whole bunch of different guildsmen. Hooked Pikemen, Militia Guisarmiers, Brewers Guild, and this is actually the unit I saw first. I was like, oh, Brewers Guild, sold, we're playing as Flanders. Flemish Falchion Militia, Militia Swordsmen, Levy Archers, and then we've also got the Crossbow Militia. So we've got a really quite a wide variety of units from the very, very start. We have a water mill, which is manufactured goods, which we have a bonus to production of, and also just industry income. We'll almost certainly upgrade that. We've got the muster grounds, which is recruitment capacity, which I'll probably get rid of. Seeing as we can't actually upgrade it to the jousting lists, that doesn't really stand any purpose for us. Huzzah! So I'm going to knock that down. We'll replace it with something more useful. And then we've also got wheat fields. We are a good fertility, so wheat fields is good for us if we want to get food surplus, which we do. Okay, and then this is probably going to be a fairgrounds or something like that. Or maybe a sanitation or a church. What is our religion like? We are at 90% Catholicism, 10% heresies. That seems fine to me. And then research. Resource production from grain. So that would increase the amount of money we make from trade. We can get positive Burger growth and just regular growth from this. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll go for the city charters. You're 4,000 to upgrade. You're 13,000. I think I may just straight up... Well, that's going to knock our squalor and public order back. Do we have... We have a dedicated sanitation building. Which, remember, is something that Latin Empire did not have. So we can actually increase our sanitation. Just naturally. That's good. Is this a beginner-friendly game? No. The Brewers Guild. This army is dwarves. Absolutely. Locksmurfen wants me to drink some tea. Are we building peasant legions tonight? No, we're building Burger legions. Legions of loyal Burger Kings. I'm just annoyed that we don't have a port. Antwerp. Are you a port? I think Antwerp's a port. Might need to go after Antwerp. Now, the problem with going after Brabant is they are on the HRE. We are not. So if we take over Antwerpen, then the HRE may come gunning for us. And the other interesting thing is both the Upstalboom and Brabant, they're both electors. So if you want to play as a small elector nation, Antwerp's kind of an interesting choice for that. Otherwise, we need to worry about the French armies over there. Now, first thing I need to do, rename this army, because this name is unacceptable. Can I cancel that? I'm just going to click away. No. Alright, so it needs to be the something's justice. So whose justice is this going to be? This is going to be Kadroth's justice. Kadroth's Justice Army. There we are. Oh, and the other joke I was going to make is we're the Vlandians. You know, because we got knights and we got crossbows. We are actually the Vlandians from Mountain Blade right now. See, I've made a really strong argument that the Vlandians are actually the Flemish, because the Flemish in, you know, Dutch, Vlaanderen. Or Flanders is Vlaanderen. Vlandian. Very similar. Specialising in knights and crossbows. I wonder who they could be modelled on. Okay, so I don't think there's a huge amount else I can do. I'm kind of happy to just sit here and build up public order. If we wanted to go after... Oh, I'm trading with Antwerpen though, aren't I? Brabant. Yeah, we are. We actually quite like Brabant. Alright, is there anyone who I don't like? Not yet. Alright, well, we're just going to... Oh, yes, provincial governor. We are going to primarily just be waiting until England declares war. How do I want to do this? We're also very powerful. We have 100% dominion. Right, because we have no other nobles in our realm. That's what dominion is. It's how much influence we have compared to the rest. Huh, okay. Who do I want to put in charge of this? We could put the patron in charge. Wealth from cultural buildings, except for the fact that we're not really going to be building cultural buildings. We're industrialists. I'm really tempted to just put the king in charge of the city for now. We can always switch them around again. You know what? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to switch the general here for the strategist so we can get the extra cunning.
At your command.
Because cunning is unit upkeep, cost reduction. He's boring, -1 authority, is zealous. Misshapen, -2 authority. And also, oh no, you're not governing the region, it's fine. -1, wow, you have a lot of really negative traits, blimey. Thankfully your wife is amazing. Yeah, efficient. The first time I checked out Flanders, we were married to an efficient lady.
Ready for battle.
And then we're going to put the king in charge of Tournai next turn. Just build up and then take France and maybe England. Well, right now we're allied to England, and I mean to keep that alliance going, and we'll see if and when they get to war with France. And I'm going to be very upset if they don't. Like, here's the thing. The King of England right now is a bit of a famous king. This is King John. He was kind of known for being useless. This is also the era of the Black Prince, who was definitely not useless. And bit of a turning around of fortunes against France. John Lackland. Not a very good king.
We hunger for battle.
Okay, so, at least I think this is the Black Prince era. I'm pretty sure it is. So if you've seen A Knight's Tale, this is the era of A Knight's Tale. I really need a port. I really need to go to war with France at some point. That much is pretty clear. Okay, let's build a different building here. So what do we want? We can get the silver deposit, which is just silver income, which is going to increase the population growth of the burghers and the peasants. Wealth from commerce. We don't have much commerce because we don't have a port. Fields aren't going to be very useful. The city square can lead to other things. The Jewish diaspora is banking. The leprosarium is the sanitation. If we go for the leprosarium, we can upgrade the water mill. Catholic chapel we don't really need because we're already very Catholic. We could go for the barracks. Oh! No, we had the mustering grounds. So the barracks would allow us to get... Hang on.
Ready for battle.
I can recruit them anyway. Why is that? It must be our city type. The large city must unlock recruitment of all of those units for us.
Ready
One
for
of the Jewish
orders.
building quotes is quite funny. Alright, let's have a look. Rich nephew, I heard you were living around here and I need a place to stay. Banished? But I just loaned 300 ducats to the king. There's like 3 or 4 dates in that bag. Would it kill you to put in a few more? I don't know what goes on in that half church you call a synagogue, but here we don't talk business on Yom Kippur. It's that one. Banished. That's a Crusader Kings thing.
Ready for battle.
Right. I think I might actually put the leprosarium here. Although the +5 public order from the town barracks and the tower damage and tower attack rate sounds really nice. Especially as we're an OPM, just make ourselves really hard to conquer if the army's not around. Or we can get the stone cutter, which is industrial income. No, I think we're going to basically double down on the water mill, so I'm going to build the leprosarium. For the sanitation buff. And then we're going to also upgrade you. And that's going to be a lot of our money gone.
Hunger for battle.
And then we can recruit a couple more soldiers. I think I'd like some of the Gothendarks. You guys are 45 armor. Yeah, the textile guys are really strong. And they're relatively cheap to recruit. We'll get 2 of you. And then maybe 1 Brewers Guild Falconer.
Fight with us.
Because it just feels wrong if we don't have any of those. Okay, we can put you in charge of Flanders. Patron, that's the culture, marksman, another strategist. Well, he can't be any worse than the original guy. Alright, what do we want to do here? Probably the growth. Wealth from agriculture and animal husbandry. I mean, we do have agricultural income from the wheat fields. Or we can go for levy taxes, which will increase the amount of money we're getting. And the public order offset, we can offset by the fact our army is just here. We don't make money from commerce. That's a lie, we do. Because the main city provides commerce income. I think I might go for the tax rate though. After all, it's just good business. And here we go. England versus France. So England is allied to me and the Holy Roman Empire. France is allied to Burgundy. And here are the English armies. Oh, that's a straight crossing. Right. Is the midline for Flanders just various guild members? Yes. Yes, it is. Well, it's a good start. Turn 2. War with France. I like it. So we really want to take Rouen so we can get the port.
At your command.
So I think we're going to act a little bit aggressively here.
Besieging settlement.
Also, having that as a
Let
stone
them
cutter would be
cower
really
like
nice.
kennel dogs. Besieging settlement.
Or do I want to press this attack?
And honor!
1400 against 2000. They do have a lot of ranged units. I think I probably do want to do this because what's going to happen now is France's army is going to appear and attack us. And they don't have a garrison here. I mean, this is just the garrison. Chance of death by natural causes plus 10%. Oof. Oh, I can't attack this turn because we don't have any siege engines. It has to be next turn. Alright, this is a little bit scary. And now that the army is no longer here, we definitely... want to go for this one, I think. Or possibly that one. Seeing as we have a minus 12 public order right now, why is it that bad? That's minus 7. Ah, and you were built. Okay. So we can't upgrade the Leprosarium until we've got Scholasticism. What do we need for Scholasticism? Oh, it's right there. That's not too far away, so we'll add... Oh no, we'll say you, and then you, and then you. And then probably you. So we can get that textile artisan going. Yeah, let's go for the growth. Let's get more buildings in Tournai if we can. Alright, fingers crossed. Hopefully France doesn't have too many troops around us. Or if they do, England is near enough to assist us. No French. William and Eustace.
To victory!
Aragon just declared war on France as well. Well then.
Hear us, Lord!
Pierre the Bewitched. I don't know if that's a good thing. Boring, misshapen and inbred. He is such a bad general. I wonder, should we bring in Bertrand? I think I'm going to bring in Bertrand. Yeah, see, he's a lot better. I just don't want to be training up the other guy. He was so awful. Alright, let's attack.
None will escape.
Oh. They must have upgraded. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't have the Chevalier before, did they? Let's do it. We're going in. I think we've got 4 sets of ladders, so everyone else is going to have to go for the gate. Alright, here we go. First battle of the game. I was genuinely a little concerned that we would just be like, end turn, end turn, end turn, end turn. But thankfully Britain and France have it so in for each other that they kicked off pretty quickly. Oh, France has probably gone for Bordeaux. Because England does still have territories in France. Bordeaux. Dry day sounds good to me. Alright, so this place has not been under siege long enough to have actually taken any material damage, which is a bit unfortunate. Which does mean it's going to be these 3 towers guarding that zone. Or if we go over here, it'll be 4 towers. If we go for here, it would be 3. If I attack right there.